Well, good morning to everyone. Today is Wednesday. I am just now getting back on yesterday from a trip to New Orleans, something to regroup, refresh. As you can see, I'm still looking like I was on the road, but it's okay. I want to thank everyone who is following and also thank everyone for their prayers for safe travels from Charleston to New Orleans. I had to travel, of course, through Georgia, Mississippi, and Alabama, not in that order. Alabama, then Mississippi, and then to New Orleans for Essence Festival. And I must admit that I ran across some individuals who are not quite fond of my complexion, but that don't stop no show. So for those of you who are not aware of the events that took place in Charleston, June 17th, we lost nine members of our community, including the Honorable Clementa Pinckney, state senator for South Carolina, as a result of a hate crime. And the outpouring of love and support for our city has been phenomenal from all around the world, not just this country, but the world. And people were quite shocked that Charleston didn't erupt into riots and just chaos. We are different down here. Not saying that any other city isn't different. People are upset and people express themselves in different ways when tragedy happens. In Charleston, it's not uncommon for your cousin to live next door, around the corner, your sister down the street, your next door neighbor being someone who you used to babysit, or you went to elementary school, middle, high school. We're all connected here in Charleston, Chucktown as we say, or the Chuck. And when one of us hurt, all of us hurt. So that tragedy touched a lot of lives in so many different ways, on so many different levels. I will tell you personally that seeing some of my friends having to attend 2 and 3 and 4 and sometimes all 9 funeral services, just to imagine the impact that has on a person's heart and the physical effects of that. Post-traumatic stress syndrome is very real, because you begin to look at things and react to things a lot differently when you have something so tragic happen. So, there's a lot of lessons to be learned. And quite frankly, a lot of people are beginning to, quote unquote, wake up and look at things that a lot of people have been trying to show, as far as the treatment from several businesses, the accommodations that are not quite fair, just various things of that nature. But what I wanted to do was to focus on what President Obama spoke of during Senator Clementa Pinckney's services, about after the media has left and they're no longer here, because it was swamped with every media outlet there could possibly be, even freelance journalists, YouTubers, Fox News. Anywho, there were so many people here, but once they leave, we're still here to do the work. And that's what he spoke of, is the after. Preparing us for moving forward. And I don't want to say moving forward as in moving past something, because when you move past something, you tend to forget about it. And by no means will any of those 9 lives be lost in vain. And we do that by honoring their life through our action. As a nonprofit participant, enthusiast of community service, I've noticed over the years that people confuse the term nonprofit with thinking that it does not involve expenses. And it's been trivial in some ways, trying to make sure that integrity is not trying, but making sure integrity is always intact and that people's trust is not disrespected. I am so very honored to be able to have people who look to me as a reliable source, as someone they can trust. If they wanted to do something financial, they know that it's going to get into the right hands. I worked hard to build that because I understand how it feels when someone misuses the resources that you work hard to acquire and you want to share that and they don't end up in the right hands. So I'm very thankful, very grateful for the respect and the trust that people have given to me. With that being said, I'm trying to stop saying but hey, I'm me. Anyway, the whole peace campaign is speaking about the work that has to be done after all of the news people have moved on to the next story. There's work to be done. That's when the hard work begins. And this is not to say that we just started, because we've been in this for a minute, along with some other fantastic organizations, hand in hand, the people, the coalition, family to family, and just so many different R3 real results, and oh my goodness, just all throughout the city is so many people who have been in the trenches, boots on the ground every single day, and we don't do it for accolades. I may tend to be one of the more flamboyant people because I'm a social person, so I like to make work fun, and it doesn't even feel like work because this is, your calling. But what the peace campaign does is it allows myself and other organizations that I collaborate with to have certain products available, and those products are going to not only bring attention to peace, but also provide us with resources to continue to provide basic needs. And this is where this needs to be explained, because people are, well, what that have to do with anything? If you've ever been hungry, if you've ever been without clothing, if you've ever been without shelter, if you've ever been without love and attention from the right sources, if you've ever gone without those basic needs, you begin to do things in order to just survive. When you do these things, it shows exactly what your mindset, is. For example, if you choose one set of activities to provide for yourself versus another set of activities to provide for yourself, are you going to go out on the corner and sell something illegal to put money in your pocket to take care of your family and your household? Unfortunately, this is a choice that a lot of our community members feel that they have to make, because it's the quickest way to make sure that their needs are kept. I don't judge anybody, because sometimes we've all done things that we look back and say, oh my goodness, we all have a past. So this is not about judgment. What I'm simply saying is that being able to provide your own basic needs will show the decisions, your mindset, where it is. And so my goal, along with people who I'm collaborating with, is to sell these products, which in turn gives us the revenue that we need to continuously provide resources that people make bad decisions sometimes when they feel like their back is against the wall, so they don't have to do it. We're giving them a hand up. And when you give someone a hand up, you are able to connect with them. I'm able to relate to people who have slept in their car. I'm able to relate to people who did not have anything to eat. I'm able to relate to people who did not have a place to lay their head, not even a car to sleep in. I'm able to relate to people who have to take care of their children and don't know how they're going to do it. I'm able to relate to people who may have had to move back home with their parents after being a homeowner or being established for a while. So there are things in my backstory that allows me to have empathy for people who are going through right now. So with that being said, I wanted to showcase the first product that I hope and pray, pretty much, let's just call the thing a thing. I hope it goes viral because it shows that here in Charleston, a lot of things began here. This is why it's so historic with the story of slavery, which is not the beginning of our story because we were not slaves at first. You know the backdrop. We were all in our own element, with our own culture, with our own native tongue, and to be snatched from your home and turned into slaves and have living quarters that were less than those of animals. That's a story in itself. So the Gullah Geechee culture is one that why a lot of people respect it, because it resembles strength and resiliency. I mean, think about it. If somebody was to come into your house right now, snatch you from everything that you know, and put you in an environment where you're now with other people who don't speak the same language that you speak, but you're all in the same situation, and you create a language so that you all can communicate and survive and just help each other get through something that is so horrible. You got to think about that for a moment, that you're able to actually survive that and to still not have your spirit broken and to preserve your culture and to pass it down generation to generation, such as the sweetgrass basket. Oh my goodness, you can't find no tutorial on YouTube for that. That's how you know that from generation to generation things have been passed down. And in order for things to be passed down, that means that family members have to sit with each other. They have to talk to each other. There's no texting. I love technology just as much as the next person. But the face-to-face sharing energy, we have to get back to that. So before I get off, way off on a tangent as I normally do, ADHD is real, I would like to show you the product for the peace campaign. And it is the Chucktown shirt. Now I'm going to take a picture of it. It is backwards. But Charleston, South Carolina is affectionately known as Chucktown. And as you can see, we have the peace sign, because the peace is where everything begins, whether it be peace of mind, which is important, peace of mind, peace among yourself, peace within your family, peace within your community. And then all of that ripples on over to peace within the world. It's not about saving the world, it's about saving yourself and each other. And I'm a t-shirt enthusiast. It just makes sense, you know. So I hope to get your support, and this will be up on the geecheegirl.org website in a few moments. I'm also working on my Amazon store. So I hope to have your support. This is going to allow us to work with other groups, send ambassadors where they need to be sent in order to get training, certain skills, whether it be job skills, whether it be putting gas in the car just to be able to deliver lunches to people who need some assistance, whether it be getting just whatever we need. So I always feel the need to explain what the money is going to, because I never, ever want my intentions to get lost in translation. I never, ever want my intentions to be misunderstood. And I am so appreciative of the people who I like to call family, but more so brand evangelists. Had a little occurrence happen over the weekend to where a very well-known blogger, shout out Lovey, I love you, she was very vocal, very vocal about why people weren't speaking up about what took place here in Charleston, and she got some backlash for that. Now imagine that. She got pretty much, yelled at and talked about because she was bringing awareness to people who needed to use their platform, even if it was something as simple as a repost or pray for Charleston or whatever have you. You didn't have to go on no full-fledged, sermon, because that's not everybody's gift, but just bringing awareness to what was going on, because it affects us all. When there's hate present, it affects us all. Because I guarantee you, had that visited someone else's city, they would have felt the same need for somebody somewhere to just offer thoughts of love, thoughts of support, prayers, whatever. We've gotten so far removed from helping one another, and I'm sure I'll probably get some backlash for this. Not bothered, because what's right is right. We can't do everything for everybody. However, we can say something. If you're worrying about, well, this company writes my check. Okay, well, all money is not good money. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I shared with someone that if you have to filter your compassion for somebody, you need to check your relationship with that somebody. If you're not allowing yourself to be who God created you to be, you're blocking something beautiful. So, with that being said, it's just how I feel. And I know feelings are not facts. However, the way that we interpret facts is why we are either winning or struggling. So, with that being said, it's going up on the website in a few minutes. I just want to send out so much love and thanks and gratitude to everyone who continues to encourage myself and people like me who are out doing the things that are not so glamorous in our communities, but it's so very necessary. We're here to change lives and change households. So with that being said, hope to have your support on the peace campaign. Chucktown is one of the first products, and geechygirl.org is the website. I will be posting updates as far as the Amazon store, and also will be holding classes for different aspects of business, whether it be young entrepreneurs just starting, people who are established and want to increase their social media presence, how to properly use hashtags, because I am a hashtag queen. Yes, see my crown? But I appreciate you and hope to have your support. I already have a few people who said they're on board, and I'm looking forward to having you on board with us. All right? Peace and love, smooches and red rice from your girl, Geechie Girl. See you soon.